Hey YouTube, Gene here, back again. I'm out at the lake spending a weekend here, kind of a little getaway. This is like northern Ontario in a small town called Aurelia, and this is Lake Simcoe behind me. And we just kind of like to get away here for a couple days and relax and then unwind. And I thought I'd do so with a couple of books, but Perfumes the Guide 2018 with Turin and Sanchez is relatively new, so I thought I'd discuss this and bring this up because it's been kind of a hot topic lately. And there's a couple interesting things in here that really stand out for me, and I wanted to share with viewers of my channel. But I was originally going to discuss Galop, but since they're one of my favorite brands, but there's nothing really too exciting or anything that stands out in here. You know, scores are all over the place. He gave a couple, got a 1-star reviews. He's got a couple of 3 stars and 4 stars, but we'll discuss Galop at another time. I really wanted to look at some of the enthusiastic, I want to call them, reviews that Turin and Sanchez have given to Hermès, a fantastic designer house, if you want to call them designer or niche or whatever, you know. Who really cares about terminology as long as the perfume is good? Yeah, so, you know, I know they were big fans of Jean-Claude Elena, and he's no longer the head perfumer, even though I keep hearing that he's still with the brand and he's always in some way going to be part of Hermès. But even the work that Christine Nagel has been putting out, they're really enthusiastic, and it's great to see this, and it's great to see their reviews, and great to see that Hermès is going to be in good hands after really going all this year without following trends, releasing timeless pieces, and just, you know, being on top of the designer perfume world. I'm just going to put this down for a second. There are a couple of things in the book that really stand out for me. Not really so much to do with Hermès, but I do want to quickly share some of these things. And this is kind of some of the criteria that they used when judging or rating fragrances. You know, it took me a while to crack this. You can see my book is kind of like obviously worn and torn, and I've been marking things up and writing in the book. You know, I've got things bookmarked and pigtailed or that kind of thing. I've really been enjoying this, and I know there's been a lot of debate and a lot of anxious reviewers calling Turin and Sanchez out, you know, not really liking their style. A lot of people in favor of them. Me, myself, I really love this, where not every single review is an ass kiss of the perfume. I can't stand that style, where people love every single thing they smell, which just, I don't know, for me isn't possible. If I smell something and I don't like it, I want to make it very clear, because I don't love everything. I don't think everything is fantastic. And I find those reviews kind of phony, and for the most part just really trying to sell you a link or just really commercialize, which isn't my thing. But here's kind of their criteria, what makes a good perfume. I'm not sure who was writing this, if it was Turner or Sanchez, and they kind of say, they explained the idea of art in the previous guide, so I won't repeat myself, but to sum it up, we are looking for beauty. Does it smell good? Ideas. Does it smell interesting? Novelty. Have we smelled it before? And skill. Has it been worked out technically? And I agree with all of these, you know. Fragrance has to smell good, first of all. It has to smell interesting. You know, the idea has to be, it can't be a clone of something or something that we've smelled last year. Like, it can't be a Sauvage copying a Bleu de Chanel sort of thing. Has been worked out technically. Yeah, you can really tell the difference between a well-crafted fragrance and one that's poorly assembled. You can tell in the structure, you can tell kind of, you know, the compounds. Is the fragrance tight? Is it sloppy? You know, even the molecules, are they nice and tight and small molecules and well blended, or something like I find Acqua di Gio Profumo is really like, it's got these massive aroma chemicals. You can pick out the chemicals themselves, the synthetics, even breathing them in, everything feels big and sloppy and arrogant and that sort of thing. And there was one other thing that really stuck out to me, and I'm gonna read this, and this is something I talk about on my channel all the time, but they really sum it up in words perfectly. And so I have highlighted it here, and this is on page 9 of the guide, and it goes something like this. And he's talking ultimately about performance of a fragrance, and they say, few people mind a man wearing a noticeably good fragrance. What is significant now is that fragrances intended and marketed explicitly as masculines have become not merely noticeable, but dependently too loud by design. There is no way to wear them quietly. Like crappy speakers heavy on the bass and shattering in the treble, an offensive sensation of distortion manages to make them feel harsh, even at low volume. This inherent loudness is considered an advantage by the wearer because it gets attention. After all, bad publicity is publicity. The effect is accomplished largely with brutally powerful, woody amber materials that are cheap and not in the least bit beautiful. The ones that smell like rubbing alcohol sized to destroy New York City. These fragrances would rather be feared than admired. Be afraid. And that is absolutely perfect. I've been saying for a long time, I'm completely done with these beastly fragrances, the ones that, you know, your neighbor can smell after you just sprayed it on. They're just really, I find them really offensive and intrusive, and, you know, just not what perfume is about. It's not to be obnoxious and be that guy, you know, that guy that everyone keeps talking about. For me, perfume is a personal thing. It's something that I want to wear for my own. It's got nothing to do with compliments. It's got nothing to do with, you know, attracting the opposite sex or whatever your preference is. It's just strictly for myself. What journey does the perfume take me on? Does it inspire me? Do I want to wear it again? What was the perfumer thinking about, you know, when he created this? What was in his mind? What is he trying to, what is the perfumer trying to tell us? You know, that sort of thing. So I really love that. So excellent, you know, excellent points by both Turin and Sanchez. But let's look at Twilly. I've got it marked here somewhere. So before I begin, I'll tell you, Twilly was given 5 stars, considered masterpiece. There's Twilly, 5 stars. And it's actually kind of a long read, and I'm getting killed here by mosquitoes or horseflies, whatever these are. I don't know if I want to read all this, but Not Since Fracas, which I couldn't stand. I think I have the latest version, so it's probably been, you know, butchered to death, but it's not vintage by any means, and I couldn't stand Fracas on my skin. It was just really obnoxious, kind of going back to what they were talking about, loud perfumes. So since Not Since Fracas set the tone for all the big splashy tuberoses that they have all come through since, has any perfumer done justice to the wild weirdness of this material until now? In the short time since Nagel took over from Elena's throne at Hermès in 2014, she has generated 2 grand perfumes, Galop and Twilly, which Galop is the other perfume I wanted to talk about. That position her as the true heir to Germaine Cellier's idiosyncratic genius. How can both perfumes be so gloriously strange? It's as if Nagel had no idea how roses and tuberoses were supposed to smell. Brilliant point again. Like, she created something so unique, it's almost like she had no idea what a tuberose was supposed to smell. That's how unique Twilly is. Well, that's what they're saying. She has loosed from them she has loosed them from their usual habits. They are finally free. So, kind of saying that Tuberose all these years, up until now, has been following trends, and it's the same thing over and over and over again that we're getting. I don't know, I don't really think, you know, Twilly was, I love Twilly and I've reviewed it and I made it very clear that I really enjoyed it, but I don't know if it was really all that unique. I'm not finding it as unique as Turin has. We tend to imagine Tuberose as a middle-aged Aphrodite made up for the evening, all big-bosomed, heavy sweetness taking up all the air in the room. However, get your hands on the raw material, and you know it's no Aphrodite awaiting you in there, but Hecate, fresh from a stirring cauldron. You know, Turin's using a lot of big words here. I probably should have gone to school a little bit longer. You smell leaf green, icy camphor, shades of gasoline, rubber. You struggle to smell the floral at all and despair to think the whole thing is composed of off notes. Yet what it is effective and what it is side effective can always be reversed. Fracas itself is the best example, setting the mothball aspects of Tuberose at the center of a surprisingly sweet and bitter context of marmalade and leather. As happened with Fracas, the first whiff of Twilly produces a smile of surprise as few perfumes in life have done. Wow, that's a really big accolades for Twilly. I scooted forward to the edge of my seat, needing to know what it could possibly say next. Sharp, medicinal ginger, along with a hum of other aromatic spices, woods, and sweet notes of hay turned Tuberose into a herbal note, something we didn't know it wanted to be all along. The result is a androgynous fougere of fantastic beauty, though ultimately the aim of this perfume is not necessarily beauty, more like wonder. Tania Sanchez, actually. Wonderful. I thought it was actually Luca Turin, but it's it's marked with Tania Sanchez that rated it 5 stars. I do like Twilly and I enjoy it a lot. One of the comments in my Twilly video is from a male subscriber of mine asking what dress would I wear with this perfume, and fair enough, a lot of guys are not comfortable wearing women's perfumes. That's not me at all. I wear what I love, I wear what I like Twilly. To me, it kind of reminded me of another masterpiece, 24 Faubourg by Maurice Roussel, a big, bold, floral, creamy woods, sandalwood in the base, and I almost think that Nagel took inspiration from 24 Faubourg and kind of modernized it up when she released it for, you know, as Twilly. But again, excellent review, excellent fragrance, one that I love. Now let's look at Galop. You know, I can see the pink juice and the bottle design kind of turning off a lot of guys, and it's got this very youthful aspect to Twilly, almost like teenager to mid-20s. It seems like it's been marketed to. Galop, 4 stars, and he calls it a rose leather. This one was written by Luca Turin. So Galop, to me, was very hard to love in the beginning. I found it very strange, and you know, Hermès, they love using their leathers in their fragrances with their their history with horses and that sort of thing. To me, it was a very dirty leather, a very dirty rose, and a very, very sour perfume. I originally had thought it was, you know, some kind of citrus pear, but they call it quince, which is in the family of pears, which gives it this really sour aspect to it. And to be honest, I think I bought it more, when I purchased it, I bought it more because I loved the bottle than the actual fragrance itself. And it took me many wearings to appreciate and enjoy Twilly, Galop, but for me, it wasn't a love at first sniff. And I'm really surprised that it got such a high score. 4 stars is wonderful. So they go on to say, or they start by saying, I had occasion recently, I hasten to add, in a Breaking Bad sort of way, to smell phenylethylamine, some kind of synthetic kissing cousin of the sweet rose aroma chemical phenylethyl alcohol and precursor to half a dozen crucial brain neurotransmitters and related drugs. The amine end group made it smell fishy, of course, but what was surprising to me was that the rest of the molecules still smelled of rose, but a different rose. Not that the usual terminal -OH group was gone. It was a sweeter, benzenic, darker rose, almost an off note of rose itself. When I had smelled Galop, I had an aha moment. There it was. Rose, off note, weirdly marshaled and very cleverly so, in a strange pear leather context. I guess he got pear from it too. Galop, Christine Nagel's triumphant debut for her Hermès, is proof positive that there is no such thing in perfumery as a dry well. Dig deeper and even Rose has something entirely new to say. Wonderful and brilliantly written. If you like Galop or not, if you agree with this score or not, irrelevant, but to look at Galop, it is completely different. It's never been done before. It's a very new idea. I think Christine Nagel did a wonderful job, regardless if it works for me or not. You know, just interesting, you know, great read, great perfume. And it's so great that they can actually acknowledge her accomplishments. There's a couple others here that they rate from Hermès. Let's just quickly have a look. And they scored quite high. I actually wish that they had rated the Hermescences, the Agary Ben, the Myrrh Eglantine, and the Cedar Sambac, but they're not in here, unfortunately. Hopefully in the next guide, which we won't have to wait 10 years to see. I can't. Oh, here we go. So they scored Eau de Neroli d'Or, Eau Rhubarbe Écarlate, Eau de Merveille Blue, which got a 4-star, surprisingly. Very, very wateryish, very seaside blue, kind of fruity. Jour de Hermès Gardien. I think those both got 4s. I'm not going to get quite into those, but Les Jardins de Mont-sur-Lit. Muguet Porcelain got 4 stars, which is another gorgeous, you know, Muguet by Jean-Claude Elena. Very inspiring. Almost gets a little bit animalic on me in the Hermescence collection, Muguet. So, excellent read. I mean, if you haven't already, check out the Perfumer's Guide, Turin and Sanchez. You know, everybody's always mentioning Turin, but, you know, Sanchez is a big part of this team, and they are apparently a married couple. But, yeah, it's great to see Hermès, you know, still doing timeless pieces, not following trends, a thing that a lot of other brands are still doing. They have high words for Cartier, which is kind of still, you know, with Hermès, about the only 2 brands that aren't following market trends and that kind of thing. Mathilde Laurent doing her own thing, very passionate perfumer as well. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys, and if you've read the guide, let us know, you know, what you think. What were some of your favorite reviews? What did you think about their reviews of Hermès? I'd love to hear. Leave some comments in down below, and if you like this, you know, hit the like button, and we'll talk to you all again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.